Hey, what's up, my construction entrepreneurs? Tyrone Jones here. Hey, on this one here, I'm going to be answering some questions. Got a few questions lined up. Answer them. Hopefully, you can find your answer in these questions on what you actually need to do next. Let's get it. So, question one. I heard you say you can estimate from the laptop. I'm at a point to where I'm trying to practice this. What advice can you share to help eliminate the learning curve with this? Okay, so this is, you know, estimating from the laptop, the digital estimating platform is the way to go. I do um, print out plans, right? You see plans in the background here behind me. So I do print out plans when I need to. I do a lot of estimates on the screen. But when I first started out, and mind you, the reason why I started bidding on the screen was because it was just costing too much to print plans. You know, um, when we started doing in one of my partnerships, we started doing a lot of framing, drywall. Those that type of work requires you to print out more pages of plans than like the work I'm doing now. A lot of work I'm focused on now is just concrete, structural, and site concrete, which is a lot less sheets than the structural, the framing structural side of things, right? So we found ourselves spending a ton of money, even though we had our own rented printer. We found ourselves just spending a ton of money printing out plans. So we was printing out budget plans, buying, spending that money to do that and not landing those jobs. So I had to start focusing on bidding online. Now, bidding online is the way to go, right? But when I first started out, I had to um, put my plans on my TV, right? Because I need to see it large. One of the things was hindering me was looking at it in small sections in the beginning. That was very tough and it was hard for me to follow. It was hard for me to capture everything. So I put it on a TV screen, Try to find a TV screen that you can cast it on or plug it into. I had that time I had an office set up at my house and I had an extra TV. I put the TV on the wall over my desk, plugged my tower into it, and that's how I started. So I was able to get a full sheet on the TV. And once I had that, I was able to navigate around this large sheet without trying to go to, without looking at different sections of it at one time. So I would say try something like that. Go to a larger screen, go to a double screen, invest in the viewing capabilities, and you will find yourself getting better with it. Because once you can view the full sheet, then it's almost like you're looking at the printed out paper. You're just not able to touch it, but you're able to move it around, shift it in different areas, blow it up to look at it. It just helps to coordinate and look at it a little bit differently on the bigger screen. So that's what I would do. Do a bigger screen, and then from the bigger screen, go to two screens and go large on the two screens. Like right now, if you look here, I got large monitors here, So um, definitely, you definitely want to go larger. Eventually, I'm probably going to put another TV monitor above this one, at least probably maybe a 42 or 32 inch. Um, to allow me to move a little bit faster. And then you can get into Bluebeam and all these great online tools that they have to allow you to highlight, measure, and things like that. But in the meantime, you don't want to spend that type of money on that. You can always use Adobe. Watch my video on that. All right, next question. Uh, the project I'm estimating, the projects I'm estimating are saying my estimate is incomplete. They want me to add another trade work to my estimate for a complete bid. Why is this, and how do I tackle this issue? I answered this question, um, I believe, a while back. Maybe I didn't, but anyway. So, um, what happens on this one here? So when we submit a bid to, let's say, a general contractor, the general is looking for the easiest way out, right? So, in my instance, let's say I do my main trade is concrete, right? But I do structural concrete well better than I do site concrete, right? So, when I bid on a structural concrete, a lot of times the general like to see the same contractor bidding on the site concrete. The reason why the general does not want to hire, the general or an owner does not want to hire a particular structural concrete contractor, and then a different site concrete contractor, is because they don't want to have any gaps in the middle and miss something, right? Because sometimes some things may be a little bit unclear between what is part of the building and what is part of the site, and you can miss that little sliver, which can cost them, easily 10 grand. So they want to hire one contractor that can do it all, and then hold that contractor accountable for everything under those specs. So when I'm bidding on a job, they want to see an all-inclusive bid. That means that I should be carrying the structural concrete, the rebar for the concrete, the digging the footings. Right? There's some companies out here that don't dig footings. There's companies out here that will go and dig footings for you. Once rebar, right? Whether if you're subbing it out or doing it in house, digging the footings, whether you're subbing out or doing it in house. Slab prep, right? The materials needed to put that's going to go underneath the slab of the concrete, or the slab of the concrete. It's going to go underneath the slab on grade, so that can be some type of 3/4 rock with some visqueen, maybe even some sand on top of that, or sand below that. So that type of prep, any backfilling below that prep against the footings, they want you to cover that as well. So I can't just go in and say, hey, I'm just going to dig these footings and pour it. And call me back in when I need to pour the slab, because I'll pour that too, but you need to do everything else to lead up to that. Well, they don't. They call that incomplete bids. So if you find yourself as maybe as a plumbing contractor, right? They may call your bid incomplete if you're not paving the trenches that you put your piping in. Right? You may not have to demo those, but they may not call your bid complete if you don't demo, if you don't turnkey your work, right? So they want you to turnkey it. They want you to saw cut it, demo it, dig it, backfill it, compact it, get it tested, put the necessary slab prep, and pour the slab back on where you put your lines in. That's a complete bid to some general contractors or some owners. So if you're not doing some of those trades like the gentleman here, then you want to make sure you link up with other contractors to fill those gaps. So where you're not just turning in a bid that looks incomplete, you're covering everything. Now that means that you have to act as a multi-prime within your own trade, so you can cover every part of your work to turn in a turnkey bid. And that's what that's about. You're going to not, the more general contractors you're submitting to that requires a full complete bid, that means that they're not getting pricing for that work. Okay? And the way to not get yourself caught up in that is to ask that question. When you're invited to a bid, or you find a job that you want to bid on, you ask that customer, hey, are you going for subcontractor trade bids? Or like for my instance, are you going to go get rebar subcontractors to submit bids for this project? Yes, we are. Okay, so I would not submit a bid for rebar, right? But I still can, right? remember, my competitors might be doing that. So it might be best that I do carry that. Now, the general contractor they don't want to have to write a drywall contract, a framing contract, a mud and tape contract, concrete, a rebar, excavation, they want to have as less contracts to write up as possible. So they want you to cover as much of your work and everything associated with your work as possible. So you want to make sure that you reach out to subcontractors for the things that you do not do. If you do not do them, there are subcontractors out there that do them. You'd be surprised. That's why there's installation subcontractors. There's contractors that just do drywall. There's contractors that just do framing. There's contractors that just do the roofing install and not the paper, not the plywood, right? There's contractors that just do the roof plywood, right? There's contractors that just do little small things to fill in those gaps. There's contractors there's backhoe operators that just dig the trenches for you, right? There's contractors out there that can just come and finish concrete for you. Just finish the concrete. That's it. They won't buy it. They won't set it up. They'll just lay the concrete and finish it. That's it. So there's different type of contractors out there that can fill in those gaps for you. You got to reach out to them to make sure that you can get their numbers, get a competitive number. So you got to get several bids from a handful of them, and that way you can get a competitive bid and add that to your number, make it compelling, make it sexy, and then submit that in so you can have a complete bid. That's how you do that. Okay, so that's it with the questions. I don't have any more on here. I do have. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. How? Here's the question here. How do you stay motivated when you're not landing bids? How do you stay motivated when you're not landing bids? Right. So, I'm back landing work now. I figured out that, the jobs I was bidding on was very, they were just turning in some tight pricing, right? So it was hard for me to land work because I was figuring out where I needed to adjust that. But let's say if I go through a spell where I'm not landing work, like recently, yesterday I just lost a bid by 50 grand. It was about $450,000 bid. I lost it by 50 grand, which means that my bid should have been around 400,000. And I know the reason why I lost that bid. Kind of have an idea on a few ideas on why I lost that bid. But what I do is I stay motivated by looking at it as if it's a game. You know, I make sure I'm bidding on interesting projects. Some projects are not so interesting. They're very troublesome. They're very draining. But usually those projects are the blue ocean. Usually those projects are the ones that you want to go after. So how I stay motivated is 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 starting to look for title, starting to dig a little bit deeper in more than just the title of the project. So what I mean by that is that now I turn it into a game where I'm looking to win because I haven't had no wins for a while. So now I turn it into a game, and now I'm spending more time looking for the right project than just outright getting bidding on whatever just comes across my desk because the title is attractive. So I spend a little bit more time looking at instead of just going off the title. I'm actually selecting more projects that I would normally select because the project title is not sexy or attractive, and then I dig into those projects a little bit more, and then that that kind of adds a little bit of sprinkle to it. And then once I dig into it, I get a little bit more motivated and excited because of the challenge. And that's what helps me out. But eventually, if you continue to not win like this last spell that I went through, where I was just going through it and just bidding, not landing anything, you really just, that's the time where you really got to bring it from the bottom and and put your head down and keep going. You know, you really, that's the point where it's going to separate you from the rest. Is that you're not allowing the no work, no awarding of work to get you down to the point where you don't keep moving. Okay. One is we always know what our end goal is. It's to get enough work. We got families that's dependent on us, right? We got people that we need to take care of. There's payroll that we need to meet that's going to feed kids. So there's a lot of other things that go into the work that we're doing and that benefits it and capture the results of it. So that's what pushes me, you know, thinking about those little things, you know, moving forward on those things. That's what pushes me there. So, and once I have that, it's like I just keep going, keep moving, keep I keep moving forward, and I don't want to I don't want to lose. Like, I want to win. And outside of everything, me winning is such a huge push for me. And you know, and the family too, right? Not just everyone else family that's employed, but my family as well is counting on me. So sometimes the motivation is not as strong as it should be at times, but then at other times it is. But then when it's not, that's when I have to bring it from the bottom to continue to move forward. And sometimes what I'll do is if I'm sitting at my desk, I'll take more breaks during that period. So you'll see me going outside, taking a walk. So I'll work for 2 hours and take a break for 15 minutes. Work for 4 hours and take a break for 30 minutes. Now, I'll have that schedule before I actually sit down and work. I wouldn't just say, okay, I'm gonna just go and take a break. But I will schedule that out. I will say, hey, this is my schedule for the day. I'll write it down. I'll say, hey, I'm going to take a break every 2 hours. I'll take a 15-minute break or 30-minute break every 2 hours. And that way I'll set my alarm. When my alarm goes off, I go out there. You know, sometimes I got the dog here. I go out there and play with the dog. I go out there and walk around. I go out there just get my mind off of what I'm doing so I can come back with a fresh pair of eyes, new focus, and I can dig back into it. And then I can just push into that next break. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's some insight. Any one of you have some tips that you want to add here? Sorry this went on kind of long. I'm definitely long-winded, but I really want to provide that content to you guys. So let me know what you can give, what tips you like to share and give out. And my construction entrepreneurs, I'll come back with some more questions, some more answers, and more time for us to connect. Also, too, don't forget, check out the website. Got a lot of great things on there for you to help you out within your business. We have those spots right now for the mentorship program, which is $950, where I work with you one-on-one for 30 days. And then we got a list of things on our website under that mentorship page that we can put on a list to go over within those 30 days and get you right, whether it's QuickBooks. I'll work with you, show you how to set up QuickBooks, show you how to set up your payroll in QuickBooks to where it's getting paid automatically. I'll automate all that stuff for you, show you how to do that, show you how to input new employees, and get you going with that. Now, that mentorship program there that covers whatever you need to get you to the next level is $950. Okay. Also, too, we got other forums. We got an estimating forum on the website. Okay, it's back. I held it back for so long, but the CESS estimating system is back on the website. $199. It's a system in itself, and the training comes with it. So, guys, I appreciate everyone that's out there supporting, but make sure you go get the things to support yourself. My construction entrepreneurs, hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one.